Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, students. These courses are for the students who are doing business practice, office data processing, contact center operation, computing concepts and application skills, networking and communication skills, data information management, and computational thinking. Computational thinking, this one has to come in your exams. CT, it stands for computational thinking. Internet and communication skills, word processing, that is Microsoft Word, spreadsheets, that's Microsoft Excel, presentation, that is PowerPoint, notebooks. Students who are doing computer software and hardware, office data processing, data communication and networking. We will be proceeding with managing and computing.
These are the learning objectives for this chapter.
Managing peripheral devices, managing peripheral hardware, performing disk maintenance, working with programs, backing up and restoring files, troubleshooting problems, obtaining system information. Let us proceed without wasting time.
As you work with your computer, you may find that you want to modify how the hardware is configured, or remove programs, or create more disk space. In this chapter, you will learn how to use many of the tools Windows offers to manage your computer's hardware, software, and other system settings. You will also see how to troubleshoot problems and explore some of the small business resources. Attached to your computer are a variety of peripheral devices, such as your mouse, keyboard, speakers, and printer. Windows enables you to manage these devices as well as add new hardware to your computer. These and other tools are contained in the Hardware and Sound category in the control panel. Here you can select a hardware device to work with. For example, the Printers tool lets you add and configure printers. Let's start by working with mouse settings. The Mouse tool is helpful for adjusting the speed of your mouse pointer or the way the buttons work. The Buttons tab in the Mouse Properties dialog box lets you alternate the function of the left and right mouse buttons, change the speed required for double clicks, and drag the mouse without holding down the mouse button. Features in other tabs include changing the shape of the mouse pointer and adjusting how fast the mouse pointer moves. Take a moment to explore the other tabs, and then close the dialog box. Your keyboard is configured to respond to repeated keystrokes within a specific time period. If this response is too fast or too slow, you can adjust the speed using the keyboard dialog box. Take a look at the options in the keyboard dialog box, and then close it. If your computer has an external set of speakers or headphones, you can work with the sound volume and balance using the Sound tool. You can also control the volume directly from the taskbar by clicking the volume button in the notification area. Let's try this method. To adjust the volume, you can drag the slider up or down, or just click a different location on the slider. Clicking the speaker icon below the slider mutes the audio. Let's decrease the volume slightly. Good. Now let's open the Sound tool to work with other audio settings. The Sound dialog box lets you control the sound hardware and sound effects used by this computer. The Playback tab lists the output devices, such as headphones, and the Recording tab lists the input devices, such as a microphone. The Sound tab enables you to assign sounds to specific events that occur in Windows. Let's look at the properties for the headphones device. The top part of the General tab lets you assign a name and picture to the current device. Let's change the name and icon associated with the headphones. The remaining tabs let you work with the sound and balance levels and other options. Take a look at the other tabs and then save the changes you made. Notice that the playback device name and picture reflect the changes you just made. Now let's return to the control panel. Occasionally, you may need to add new hardware to your computer system. In most cases, Windows will automatically detect the hardware when you connect it to your computer, and an appropriate driver will be installed. If Windows is unable to recognize or properly configure a device, the Add Hardware Wizard can be used to configure it. The Add Hardware Wizard is considered an advanced tool and is accessible from the control panel. Although you won't install hardware right now, let's take a quick look. You can use the software drivers that come with Windows for your new hardware. Many hardware manufacturers, however, include a CD containing drivers and other software programs with their new hardware. It is always best to use the manufacturer's software when available. From here, you can click the Next button to step through the process of installing your new hardware. In this example, you won't add new hardware, so let's close the wizard. The Device Manager in Windows gives you technical details about every hardware component on your computer. This can be helpful when troubleshooting problems or when configuring these devices. The Device Manager is accessible from the Hardware and Sound category on the Control Panel homepage. The Device Manager window displays the name of the computer at the top, with hardware components listed below. clicking the arrow next to a component displays the details. The name of the monitor attached to this computer is now displayed. You can configure a device using options on its shortcut menu. Let's look at the properties of the monitor. The device status section indicates that the device is working properly. Now close the dialog box and the device manager. Over time, your hard disk can get filled with old files. Files may get scattered over the disk, or the disk may become physically damaged. Maintaining your hard disk keeps it running at peak efficiency. Windows offers several tools to perform disk maintenance on your hard disks. You can access these tools from the System and Security category on the Control Panel homepage. The Windows Tools category provides several ways to keep your computer running smoothly. The Free Up Disk Space task opens the Disk Cleanup tool. This tool scans your drive for unnecessary files, such as temporary internet files and files in the recycle bin, and lets you delete them permanently. Let's try it. Windows calculated the amount of space available for the disk cleanup process and indicates this amount at the top of the dialog box. You can choose which folders and files to delete by selecting a checkbox. Windows has selected several sets of files by default. Scroll down to view the other file choices and then delete the files. Windows will ask you to confirm your decision. Now you have maximized the computer's hard disk space by deleting unnecessary files and folders. Another way to optimize your computer's performance is to rearrange unused disk space so that the files and programs run faster and more efficiently. Windows includes a tool called Disk Defragmenter that will do this. A hard disk is divided into sections called clusters. When you update a file, the updated information is stored in an empty cluster, not with the original file. The more fragments your hard disk contains, the longer it takes your computer to access files. Disk Defragmenter is useful because it puts all fragments of a file together and stores the whole file in one location. This will improve the speed at which your computer accesses files. Windows automatically runs Disk Defragmenter at scheduled times, so you will not need to perform this maintenance task yourself. However, you may prefer to run Disk Defragmenter using a different schedule or to run it manually instead of automatically. The task named Defragment and Optimize Your Drives lets you change the schedule and defragment your hard disk manually. Only users with administrative privileges can run this task. If you want to stop Windows from defragmenting your hard disk automatically, you can modify the automatic run schedule by clicking the Configure Schedule button. To defragment the disk yourself, you click the Defragment Disk button. However, this process could take several hours to complete. In this example, you won't defragment the disk, so let's return to the Control Panel homepage. Although Windows 11 comes with some mini applications and games, you will probably want to add new programs to your computer, as well as remove ones you no longer need. The Programs category helps you manage all the programs that have been installed on your computer. Let's take a look. Each of these categories enables you to work with specific types of programs. For example, the Default Programs category contains tasks to work with default settings, such as the program that is automatically launched when you open a specific file type. The Programs and Features category contains tools to install and uninstall programs, as well as work with programs made for previous versions of Windows. Let's open it now. This list includes details about each program that you added to your computer after Windows was installed. Clicking a program displays more options on the command bar. The Uninstall button on the command bar lets you remove the program from your computer. The Change button enables you to add or remove specific components within the selected program. Sometimes the command bar will include a Repair button, depending on the installed program. The Repair button will enable you to fix the program if it is not working properly. In addition to working with programs that you have added to your computer, you can manage some of the optional applications and features that come with Windows 11. To turn off or turn on these features, you must have administrator privileges. Let's see what is available. Here you see a list of Windows features that can be turned on or off. A check mark next to a feature indicates it is installed. An empty checkbox indicates an uninstalled feature. Some features have multiple components. A solid checkbox signifies that only some of the feature's components have been installed. To view all the components of a feature, double-click the feature name. Now you can see that 2 of the 5 components of the Print Services feature have been installed. Take a look at the other features and then close the dialog box. To add a new program to your computer, you do not need to open a task in the control panel. Usually, you just need to download the application or insert the program disk into the DVD or CD drive, and the program will automatically begin to install. The Windows Autoplay feature must be turned on for this automatic installation to occur. By default, Autoplay is always on, although you can turn it off using the Autoplay tool in the Hardware and Sound category. Often, when you insert a program disk into the CD or DVD drive, the autoplay feature will display a dialog box asking you what you want to do with the data or program on the disk. Let's assume a program disk has been inserted into the computer's DVD drive. For your convenience, the autoplay dialog box will be displayed. Windows examined the contents of the CD and now gives you some options. You can run the autorun.exe file on the CD, which will install the program, or you can just view the contents of the CD. To choose an option, you just click it. In this example, you won't install the program, so close the autoplay window. Keep in mind that the Tasks section in the navigation pane offers more ways to work with your programs, such as getting new programs online. Now let's return to the Control Panel homepage. Windows 11 comes with a backup feature that creates a copy of the data on your hard disk. If your data is ever lost or corrupted, you can use the Restore feature to recover previously backed up files. These features are contained in the Backup and Restore Center, which is accessible by selecting the Backup Your Computer task. When backing up your data, you can make copies of just your files and folders, or you can back up your complete computer system. Backing up your entire system includes all of your computer and hardware settings, which is helpful if you have a major hardware failure. Let's begin the process of creating a system image for backing up. The backup copies that will be created are different from regular file copies. To use backup copies, you need to restore them using the Restore Files feature. The first step is to specify where you want to save the backup. You can choose your hard disk, a DVD drive, or a network location. Let's save to a hard drive. Clicking the Next button in the dialog box displays the next step in the backup process. You may receive a prompt to create a system repair disk, but this step is optional. You can roll back to a previous installation using recovery settings. The first time you back up your computer, Windows makes a copy of all files and folders. During the next backup, only files that have been added or changed will be copied. It is recommended that you schedule backups automatically. Here you can specify the frequency, day, and time of scheduled backups. After completing these steps, a backup of your entire system will be created with everything on the hard drive or other drives you selected. Files and apps that are running will also be backed up so you can continue working during the backup process. If you save to an external disk or drive, be sure to store those items in a safe location. After Windows has performed an initial backup of your files and folders, you can restore specific files using the Restore Files button. The Restore Computer button restores the complete computer image that was made during the system backup. Windows offers another helpful backup and restore feature called Restore Points. A restore point is like a snapshot of your computer in a specific state. Windows creates restore points automatically when your computer's configuration changes, and you can also create restore points manually. When a restore point is created, a shadow copy of each file is made. If the file later changes, the previous version is retained so that you can later restore it if necessary. File versions are accessible by displaying the file's properties in Windows Explorer. You can click the Use System Restore link at the bottom of this window to restore your computer using a specific restore point. Restore points can be created using the System Properties dialog box, which you will work with later in this chapter. Now, let's minimize the control panel. In addition to managing your hardware and software, you will need to fix problems that might arise while working with your computer. Some problems can be fixed without troubleshooters or technical support personnel. Fixing problems may be as simple as closing programs or restarting your computer. The most common reason hardware doesn't work is that the hardware is not properly connected or turned on. If you encounter problems with your hardware, first make sure that all cables are securely attached to your computer and that the devices are turned on. If you are working with several programs at once, you may find that you can't open some programs or that programs you've opened won't work properly. Usually, this problem can be solved by closing some of your open programs. This will free up memory on your computer. You can close a program that has stopped responding to Windows commands by pressing Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete. This keyboard shortcut displays the welcome screen with several options. One option is to open the Windows Task Manager, where you can select and close the non-responsive program. Another way to open the Task Manager is by using the Start shortcut menu. Let's experiment with this feature. For your convenience, a non-responsive program will be opened on the desktop. An unresponsive program has stopped working. Open the Windows Task Manager now to close the program. The Applications tab in the Task Manager lists the programs and other windows that are currently open. The status column of the second program indicates that it is no longer responding to Windows commands. You can close this program using the End Task button. Good. Keep in mind that you can close any open program using the Task Manager. Now close the Task Manager. The Windows Get Help system offers many topics on troubleshooting specific problems. Let's take a look. Links to several common solutions are provided to help you solve a variety of problems, such as using multiple monitors and changing account pictures. To further utilize the help system, search for your specific issue using the text box, or enter a general topic. Here you see some of the top troubleshooting topics. Scroll or page down to view the additional topics. Use the links to view articles specific to your query or view related topics. You may need to get professional technical support for problems you cannot resolve on your own. If this happens, the professional will probably need additional information about your computer. The System tool provides this information and also enables you to work with system settings. This page lists basic information about your computer, such as the operating system edition and the type of processor your computer uses. Clicking the Domain or Workgroup link displays the System Properties dialog box, which allows you to view more details about your computer and lets you modify settings that could solve problems. Typically, only users with an administrator account can modify settings, so Windows will prompt you for permission to continue. The Computer Name tab lets you change the name of your computer as well as modify its description. The computer name identifies your computer when it is connected to a network. Now, open the Hardware tab. The Device Manager lists all the hardware components that make up your computer system. You can identify problems with specific components, as well as update the driver software used for a component. Next, let's look at the Advanced tab. Use the Advanced tab to adjust the settings of your system's performance, including memory usage and virtual space allotment. You can also modify user profiles and modify your startup requirements. Now let's view the System Protection tab options. System Restore uses snapshots of your operating system settings called Restore Points. Restore Points save your operating system's configuration at various points in time. If your computer is experiencing many problems, you can restore it to an earlier state using the System Restore button. Windows creates Restore Points automatically when it detects changes to your computer's configuration. You can also create Restore Points yourself using the Create button. You might consider creating a Restore Point before you install a new software program. Now let's view the Remote tab. The Remote tab provides options for allowing access to your system from another location, which can be helpful if you ever need remote assistance or technical support. This feature allows someone you trust to take over your PC to fix a problem. You enable access and then invite them to connect to your machine using Easy Connect. Now close the System Properties dialog box and the Settings page. Windows offers another feature that enables you to get more detailed information about your computer. The System Information window is accessible from the Windows Tools page within the Control panel. Let's take a look. The Windows Tools folder offers quick access to tools used to maintain your computer. Common administrative tools include Command Prompt, Registry Editor, Task Manager, and Disk Cleanup. Let's open the System Information window. Here you see detailed information about your computer setup. Double-clicking a category in the left pane displays more information about each category. This information may be helpful when trying to troubleshoot issues or to determine your system's resources. Additional system information can be found through the System option in Settings rather than through the Control panel. Now, close the System Information window. In this chapter, you used many of the Windows 11 tools to manage the hardware, software, and settings for your computer. You worked with settings for your mouse, keyboard, and speakers, and worked with disk cleanup. You learned how to use the Programs category in the control panel to view, change, and remove installed programs, as well as add and remove Windows features. You examined the backup and restore features Windows offers. Finally, you learned how to troubleshoot problems and view system information.